Welcome, Flourish Holders. This is the continuation video of data types in Python. So in this video, I'm going to be introducing you a special function called impute, and I'm going to be using the different typecasting method to convert our values. We're going to be using this in solving arithmetic operation. We're going to be using this in solving mathematical operations. So let's get started. So what is the first thing we are supposed to do? We are going to open our Python IDLE. So now let's click on the start button and then open our Python IDLE. That's the first thing to do. Now the next thing after opening your Python IDLE is to open a new file that would save our work. In this case, I'm going to be saving our work as data types, or what should I call it? Typecasting, something like that. Typecasting. So I'm going to be saving my work as what? Remember to save it in that folder that we created in previous videos. In case you missed previous videos on typecasting, you can click on the link above to check, to understand that concept first before you continue with this. So I call it what? Casting or typecasting, so that we don't typecasting, and then I save it. Now, I said I'm going to be introducing a function called impute. Now, what is the function of impute? Now, let's see. So when I type impute and I open the bracket like this, it's going to tell me, so it's going to mark preceding arguments as positional. So what this is going to be doing is going to be outputting whatever we have right in this bracket. Let's say, for example, I say impute, and then I said, and I type in enter your name, and I put equal to sign like this. Excuse me. This would, can you save your work now and run it? This would actually output enter your name, and then it should be waiting for the user to put in a value. Now let's run that and see. Let's just check that and see. Now can you see that? Enter your name. So when I type in Mike and I press enter, nothing would happen, because that is the work of impute. It's just to take in value. But now the work of this impute is that it will always take in a string value. I'll repeat myself. It will always take in a string value. Even if you type number, it will always see it as a string value. Now let me give you one more example. Now let's say, for example, now I want to, example one, I want to declare a variable. I want to call it name, and I want the user to input the value inside that name. So that means I'm going to assign name to what? Input. That is, I'm going to assign name to whatever value the user types in the Python shell. Sorry. Now, what this means is that when I decide to assign name to input, it means that what I'm assigning name to whatsoever the user types in. Now, let's say, for example, I want to say enter your name. Now, this would ask for your name and then assign it to what? The variable name. Let me explain what that means. It is going to create a memory location called name, and whatever the user types in that memory location, so whatever the user type in that Python shell will be assigned to that memory location. So now let's see that. Let's print out what we have. Let's print out what we have in name to see what happens when we type in our name. So now let's run it and see now. So it's acting again this time around, enter your name. So when I type in Mike and I press enter, can you see? It's giving out Mike, because print function would always output whatsoever is inside that variable. And whatever is inside that variable is what? Whatever we type in, whatsoever we type in to this enter your name. So now we're going to be using this concept to add up two numbers. And I'm going to be using typecasting to actually return that value. All right, now let's go. Example 2. Let's continue, please. I hope you understand this concept. Now let's delete this, and then I'm going to start another example. Example 2. Sorry about that. Example 2. Now in this case, now I want to show you that whatever you type in as the input will be returned as a string. How do I do that? Now let's say, for example, I want to add up two numbers. I'm going to declare the first number num1, right? And then I'll declare the second number num2. But now I want to assign the both of them to input because I want the user to be able to input their values, right? So I'm going to say what? Input. Then I'm going to type in whatever I want the user to see. I'll say input or enter the first number. I think that's nice. Enter the first number. Put equals sign like that. And then I'll repeat the same step for this. Input, open and close the bracket, enter the second number, the equals sign. Now, what this would do is to take in whatever number you type in and store it inside number 1, and then take in whatever you type in and store it at number 2. But now let's check the data type of the numbers that we type in. All right, remember I told you that what? Whenever you type in numbers like this, it is going to return a string, but this is going to be a confirmation of that. So let's check the data type of num1 after we have inputted the value, and then let's check the data type of num2 after we have inputted the value to see what I'm talking to you about. So let's save our work, or let's just put something in between by saying what? Thanks for inputting those values. Thanks for providing those values or those numbers. I think that's numbers would be nice. Numbers. Now let's save our work now. Let's delete this one and run. So now save, run. Now let's see. Now it's asking for the first number. So I'm going to put in 78. Normally 78 is supposed to be what? What type of integer? According to the previous video, it is supposed to be an integer. If you say that, you're correct. But now let's check the data type because we're typing it in the Python shell. I press enter again now, and let me see the second number is what? 67.9. This normally is supposed to be what? A floating point number, right? Correct. But now let's check their data type. Now, can you see? It is returning it as what? A string. The reason is because of the input function. The input function in Python would always return any value whatsoever as a string. Now, how then do we use this in calculation? In the next video, I'm going to be breaking down to you how to use input in calculating mathematical problems. I hope you understand this. If you do have any question, please feel free to use the comment section to ask every other question. I'll be glad to provide answers to every other question. Remember to subscribe, like this video, share this video, tell a friend about this lovely channel, and I promise to give you great content. All right, stay blessed and keep flourishing.